What's going on, everybody? My name is Arun and welcome to my channel, and this is your second video in a series of videos on scientific computation using Python. Now in this video we are going to do a few more basic arithmetic operations. The last video we saw how to get inputs. Now in this video we'll actually get some inputs or record some inputs and try to do some basic arithmetic operations, namely addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operation and exponent. Alright, so let's get started. First thing, to do any one of these operations you need a few variables, right? So I'm just going to call a variable a1 a, okay, so a, let that be equal to 5 something, and then let b equal to say 6 something, 6. Alright, now let's do something. Let's say let the variable c be the addition of these two variables. So I'm just going to say a plus b. This is a very simple addition operation. So here and what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to put an exclamation hash sign, and I'm going to write addition over here. So you see, whenever you put a hash sign and then you start writing something, this line becomes a comment. And what does a comment mean? A comment is actually a little bit of a note the user would like to leave to himself or herself while writing the code. Like, see, this code is very simple that you don't need to explicitly give it, but think about this in the future. Like, if you're writing a very complicated code and afterwards you want to go back and look at your own code, you might be wondering, what on earth did you write over there? You might have some questions like that. And to make it readable and to make it convenient for yourself to understand what's happening, you write a comment over here. So basically, whenever you write a comments over there, it helps you. And the good part is the comments get automatically ignored by the programs, so you don't have to worry too much about it, right? So the more comments you have, the more easier for you, right? So now let's run this out. So I have to run this out. Just says the process finished with exit code 0. It meaning the program ran, but there's nothing for us to see it out, right? That's the problem. We didn't print it out. So what we can do is we can call in the print statement. You can say print a equals a and b equals b, and we'll say a plus b equals, and this way you put c, like this. Now let's see what exact result we get. Now if I run this, I will get a equals 5 and b equals 6 and a plus b equals 11. Cool. Now this is convenient and all, but here's the thing. Instead of writing it like this, there is one simple way that's available in Python called as f strings. So I'm going to talk about that too. F strings. So if this feature is available in Python 3.6 and above. 3.6 and above. Like, if you're using Python 3.5, this feature may not be available. So check this out. Essentially what you do is you just use the same print statement. I'm just going to comment this out. Yeah, one other handy trick: if you comment out code, you can comment out code to ignore them. That's a handy trick, but use that with discretion. Alright, you don't want to comment out large bunches of code and develop bad habits in that way. So keep that in mind. So okay, so what we can do is we can just say a equals a and b equals b and b equals b and a plus b equals c. And what we can do is that we can go like this, and we just have to put a parenthesis on the outside like this. The moment you put parenthesis outside, you're telling to the Python interpreter that, hey, you know what, this is actually a variable, and this is actually a variable, and this is actually a variable, right? Now here's the thing. Now if I were to run this as it is, right, this is how I'll get a equals parenthesis a, b equals parenthesis b, and a plus b equals parenthesis c. Like, you feel that, okay, this is something odd. You don't want that to happen. Instead of the letter a, you want actually the value of a to print over there, right? So what you do is that the f string, when you try to do this, it's not complete. Instead what you do is you just put an f around, and there you go, and you're done. And I know for a fact that this is done because now you see these variables are colored like this. The moment you get colors like this, you know the fact that it's fine. And what will happen right now is, within this expression, the value of A will be replaced, and here the value of B will be replaced, and here the value of C will be replaced. So if you don't believe me, let's run this out and check it out for ourselves. There you go. It says A equals 5 and B equals 6 and A plus B equals 11. Cool. Now, with that said, the remaining operations are going to be really simple, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this code, paste it here, and I'm going to remove this line. I don't need this anymore. And if I were to say subtraction, I just have to put a minus sign, and this is subtraction, right? And all I have to say here, I just have to put this minus sign, and we'll say A equals A, B equals B, and A minus B equals C. Now here's the thing, since C value is getting modified again and again, it's not a big deal, right? Because the value C is actually a variable. And what does a variable mean? The value it stores changes with time, because of the execution of the program. So that's all right. Now if I run this, it will get something like A equals 5, B equals 6, and A minus B equals minus 1. And let's check it out. And there you go. The first line it printed 11, the second line printed minus 1. Likewise, what you can do is you can actually do for multiplication and division over here. And for multiplication, the multiplication sign is actually the asterisk sign. Okay, alright, so you put the asterisk sign over here, and for division you put the slash sign. So that is that slash sign, and there you go, forward slash. Now if you put this, and there you go, you have the basic arithmetic operation: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So if I run this, and there you go, you get answers like this. So far so good. Now we're not done here yet, especially with division. We're not done here yet, right? All this time, like, this answer is fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something little more fancy. I'm going to say create two variables. Let's say A1. I know I'm being really creative with using a very different name, I know that. Let it be. Let's say A1 equals 5, B1 equals 6. Alright, now here's the thing. For division, I did this. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this line and paste. I'm going to create a new variable C1, and then this is going to be A1 C1, A1 C1, and all of that. Here's the thing. Here A is 5, B is 6, and A1 is 5, B1 is 6, right? Will this cause a difference? I mean, these two, when I print these two print statements, will this give the same result or a different result? Think about that for a moment, and let's actually give this out. When I run this code again, right now it gives me the same result. Yeah, understandable, right? Now here's the thing. Sometimes what you do is you might need you might need this to be in integer format, right? So in that case, what you need to do is, like, you put something like this. The moment you do something like this, check what happens now. Okay, now clearly this is interesting. Look at this. This shows that A slash B is equal to 0, whereas here A slash B is 0.833, and so on and so forth. Now what's actually happening, right? Now here's the thing. Here, when I say division in general, what it means is the regular division that we come across, wherein we try to go to with decimal points and all of that. Whereas here, when I put two slashes, I am talking about a special subcase of division called as integer division, right? So when I do integer division, what will happen is that the division will happen, and in the final result, only the whole number part is retained, and the decimal part of it is chucked out. For instance, if instead of 5 and 6, let me put 6 and 5. 6 and 5 over here also. Let me put 6 and 5. Let's look at these three lines. We don't need this for now. We just have to look at the last few lines. When we run this, here you go. It says the normal division will gives us 1.2, whereas the integer division just gives us 1. Why? Because in this operation what it will do is that it will do the normal division as it is, and in that final result it will just take that integer decimal part away and throw it away and returns it only as an integer, right? That's how it happens. Whatever be the trailing point and all of that, that will be all chopped off, and only that integer part of it will be retained as it is. So this is a clear distinction you have to keep in mind. So this is the normal division and this is the integer division that we're talking about, right? So each of them have their own purposes, so keep that in mind. Finally, two more things. Since we talked about integer division, I think it will be fine if it's good. It will be talked about modulus 2. So let me create a new variable called as r, and if I were to say a1 percentage b1, guess what will happen, right? I'm just going to copy that and paste it over here, and here I'm going to put the percentage sign, and then I'm going to put r over here. Hint, what does this r mean? Give it a try. And I'm going to put a comment over here and I'm going to write something. Just try what this means. If you run this code, check this out. I get 1 over here, right? Now, this is not very helpful because the a divided b by integer division is also 1. This a percentage b is also 1. What if I try 7 and 5? If I run this, I get 2 over here. Cool. What does this 2 mean? This is actually the remainder of an integer division. Hence it goes by the name modulus operation. So essentially what a modulus operation does is it returns the remainder of an integer division. Cool. Like this need not be integer division too. You can have like floating value as well. For instance, if I say I don't know, I have to check if this works for floating too. So let me just copy and paste it again here, and instead of a1 I'll just say a and b, and here I'll print a and b. Let me see what happens. How about that? How about that? It actually gave the remainder 1 and 0 too, 1.0 as well. So if I were to put this as 7.0 and then 5.0 something, you know what, let this be as it is. Let me give this as, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was thinking of putting this as 7. Let me try this out. This is kind of fun. Never tried this before. Look at that. Look at that. The integer modulus operation is giving me the value 2, whereas the modulus operation with floating values is giving me 2.0. So that's the difference. Modulus operation not only gives the remainder in case of division, integer division, it also gives the remainder in case of a decimal division as well. The only result thing is, now modulus operator by default gives float if all the values are float, and gives integer if all the values are integer. And finally the last thing, exponent. So this is like, I'm going to call it integer modulus, and this is float modulus operation. Essentially the same operator but different operations. And finally exponent. Suppose if you want to write something like 2 power 2 equals, and what is 2 power 5? That is 32, right? So if you want to represent something like this, that's where this comes up. So let me call e, and let e equal to a power b. For that you need to put two asterisk symbols like this, and that's your exponent. So if I were to copy this, paste it over here, and if I just say a power b equals e, there you go. Now let's run this very quick, and there you go. 7 power 5 7 power 5 is 16,807. Neat. Let's do this. Let's put this 2 and 5, and let's see what happens. 2 power 5 is 32, right? So we should get 32 at the bottom, and there you go, we got 32. Neat. there you have it. These are the basic arithmetic operations that are available in Python. Of course, there are plenty of operations available. This is just a start. In the future, we'll do something a little more fancier with it, and let's go up from there. Alright, so that's all I have for you all in this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.